once again. This time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
And good morning. Hump Day.
Hump Day.
I love it.
Made it halfway. Y'all are doing great.
Some weeks seem like it should be Friday already. Actually, it just feels good. I was glad to know that we're at Wednesday. I was thinking about that this morning. I said, Hump Day. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Halfway
Awesome. Yeah, we've been busy this week already. Got some programming done and in the can, and looking forward to the rest of the week. You're getting one day closer to the beach.
Yes, sir.
So that's always exciting when you're getting ready to take a trip, and you don't even have to do the driving. That's pretty cool.
That's right.
Just sit back. Well, that depends on who you're riding with. I'm sure they're fine, but there's some people I wouldn't want to ride. I mean, what is that, about an hour drive for y'all?
About two and a half hours.
Okay. There's some people I don't like to ride with for 2.5 minutes.
I ain't gonna tell Lynn you said that.
No. One of them's my son, baby boy.
Oh, why not? What's wrong with
Well, he's calmed down a lot, but you're talking about stomping the floorboard. He used to just drive all over people, and I'd be a nervous wreck by the time we got to the end of our journey. And one time I made him mad. I just said, "Pull over." He goes, "What?" I said, "Pull over." He goes, "There's something wrong." I said, "You better believe there's something wrong, because I can't go another mile with you." He gets all offended. "Well, come on, Dad, I'm doing okay." I said, "No, you're not, man." I said, I feel like I'm a bumper sticker on the car in front of us. That's what I feel like right now. I'm just waiting for the face plant. And he was all mad for a few minutes, and he backed off, and after a few minutes he goes, "Is that a little better?" I said, "A little bit." I mean,
nothing.
Oh man. Well, he had a wreck the first day he had his license. The first day, I was right behind him. I saw it was like slow motion, and I'm going like, "Don't do it, don't do it." I could read his mind, like he's getting ready to pull out in front of cars, because you see his head shaking back and forth. He's trying to top it out, and good morning, Miss Elizabeth. And so yeah, he darted out. I saw the wreck. And here I am. I'm thinking, the first day, you've only had your license maybe 2 or 3 hours, maybe, and you've already had a wreck. Some sweet older lady, and I'm sitting here as the dad. I'm going, "I'm so sorry." and Josh is over going, "I think it's her fault." Her fault? You pulled out. I'm a witness to this mess. You call her fault? I've seen it. Oh man, he's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me for saying that, but it's true. Well,
something on Monday.
Yes.
And we're going to continue on today. We're going to issue our salute to a small town here. So this morning I picked out a very special town here in Florida called, ready? Wait for this. Two Egg.
Two Egg.
They say you're not a true Floridian, at least if you hadn't at least heard of Two Egg.
Well, you're the one that told me about it. So a couple of days ago. So that was the first time I'd heard about Two Egg.
Well,
but
it has a massive population of 288.
Salute.
As of 2023, there might be another one or two there now.
There might be. I was trying to find last night how they got their name, and there was not any consensus. That's like a lot of these. That's like the one we did Monday, Bucksnort. It wasn't a consensus. There was a couple of ideas, but somewhere along the line, old little town, their little area there got known as Two Egg.
Yeah. Well, one story is that two boys came in with 2 eggs from their family farm to trade them for sugar. And that's how it got the name Two Egg. So, Now, Two Egg is a home of two different paranormal things.
Ah,
One is there's supposedly a female ghost who hangs around the Bellamy Bridge. The rumor is her wedding gown caught on fire and she passed away. And now she's haunting the Bellamy Bridge. And the other one is there's supposedly a small Bigfoot type creature, and they call it the Two Egg Stump Jumper. Look, I don't come up with this stuff. I just read what's out there.
hey, everybody's got to have claim to something, right?
That's right. That's right. And
What was that last one again? Two leg stump.
Two Egg Stump
Two egg
Jumper.
stump.
Now, and just to keep in mind that there are famous people everywhere. Faye Dunaway was actually spent her childhood in a very small house just to the very tippy north of Two Egg in the community of Bascom.
She probably rode through Two Egg a time or two.
Oh, I'd say so. So, but look, hey, Two Egg, Florida, population 288. All right, wait a minute, Dave, let's do it. Salute.
Hey, put that back up there just for a second. We've got our salute in. We're going to do this each morning show, but put that back up just for a second because I like something. Yeah, put it back up just for a second. I like something about it. Besides Two Egg, I like that store. They got a great store. I mean, you got little chairs or benches or whatever to sell in the front. It's just one of those stores you walk in. Everybody knows everybody in Two Egg, right?
Oh, yeah.
I bet you get a cold orange crush in a store like that, in a glass bottle. It just has that kind of feel. You got two options for gas. Well, one of them might be diesel. It's one option for gas and one for diesel.
One for regular, one for unleaded.
Well, back in the day, yeah, but that's my kind of place right there. You walk in, but in a little store like that, you could buy everything from fishing critters to a bologna sandwich, dude. I love a little store like that.
Dude, let me throw something out there for you, and I don't want to pick on nobody's age or nothing this morning, but that right there is a modern store for an elderly feller like you.
Well, it might be. That's okay.
They ain't got no microwave in there.
Oh, yeah. There's no microwave. No microwave.
Now, what's wrong with the Two Egg Stump Jumper? Oh my good, I should have just stuck with the ghost. This Two Egg Stump Jumper could be a good thing. I'm just saying.
There used to be a little store like that up from us, which has since turned over to basically, sadly, a lot of little stores like that have turned into beer, cigarette, lottery stores. And they've got some things that are about 3 times the price. That's been sitting on the shelf for 2 or 3 years, but that's what they've become. But back when I was young, this little store was just like it. It was shaped different, but it even had a butcher in it, dude. It was no bigger than that store, but it had the butcher in there with the sawdust on the floor. And I can remember going in there and us buying, pork chops and steaks or hamburger meat, whatever. Used to just love cut up with the guy. It was a busy little store, but there was no other place close by except maybe one store. And back then there was a lot of little stores did that, because they're a little more out. There wasn't a supermarket, what they call the supermarket. There wasn't one around. And so these little stores, they were kind of a one-stop shop for everything. So yeah, I can remember that. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Of course, in our area, and you remember this, Rob. I mean, that was such a powerful draw where there's still the one of them. But if you remember, and they wasn't maybe a mile and a half apart, 2 meat stores. Ed's and I just went blank on the other one, but they're going to kill me if they're listening. But and I know it's still around, but Ed's has been gone for a long time. But
and Rusty's.
Rusty's, that was what I was thinking. And that's still there. Stays very busy, but people like that. They like going and getting that fresh cut of meat, because a lot of stuff comes in the stores. You know how it is, Rob. It comes in all packaged and everything. And some of them still do. I mean, you've been a meat cutter for years or have been, that. But that's changed over the years. But hey, just a little bit of weather as we talk about morning time. We're in a little bit of a cool spell up here, Rob. I don't think y'all are, but up in a good portion of the southeast, a little bit cooler temperatures. We're down in the low 80s and getting down around close to 60 at night. It was cool last night. That was very nice. So I think you're still a little temped up down there. North Florida's like,
here, and we'll see real quick. I'm
yeah.
at. It felt a little chilly out there this morning, so right now it's 69.
Okay, y'all about 8 or 9 degrees warmer than we are.
Yeah, it's a little cooler.
But there's a few storms coming across the south, but mainly some cooler temperatures. I think it's going to burn back up a little bit by the weekend, though, into next week. We're going to get another blast of heat before slowly giving way to the fall. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Sugar Britches.
And hey, just a little bit on sports. The Braves beat the Phillies last night 3-1.
I told you they was going to win a third one.
Azuna home run, and the Mets lost. It was a great night. Love it. Love it.
Braves going to get in there after all, aren't they? They
kill sorry, Mets fans, but kill the Mets. We got to push them down. And we may not catch the Phillies, but let's inflict some pain on them. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So great. I made a couple of notes, but yeah. And I hate to even mention it, but it is news, and there's a kind of a just some really sadness. I think it's, the DNC, the Democrat National Convention, is going on this week. Monday night they gave old Joe the boot out. I mean, they gave him 11 p.m. speech time. They talk about a kick right there. They just kicked him on out of the way, and he seemed pretty angry about the whole thing. But there's a lot of just stuff, like there's pro-Hamas burning American flags in front of the thing. I hear they've got mobile abortion clinics set up. I mean, it's just all the things that we do not like down here in good old patriotic Southland, or most of us don't. But even liberal media has bashed this thing so far as for just how bad it is. I mean, I've not watched 1 second of it, but it is going on, and it's going to get a little more chaotic probably as the week goes on. And what about this news? Just one more thing. There's a report that RFK Jr. is considering dropping out and joining Trump going forward. I'd say there's been a promise of a seat somewhere if he will do that.
Yeah.
We'll
see what happens.
It's getting late in the game. We're getting closer. A lot of things still to go, but yeah, it's news is hot and heavy on stuff like that.
Well, the DNC right now, when you're talking about that and all the junk they've got going, they're showing off what they stand for and what they're about.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, it's right out there. It's right out there.
And if you're for that, then you get out there and vote for it.
America, they have the right. I just it's hard, it's just hard to see some of that. I mean, whatever letters in front of your political persuasion, it's hard to see some of that stuff. And I'm not even mentioning some of it. It's just even so controversial, but I did see that, but just what a mess things are. And, as we go toward election day, and, Israel and there is a potential not peace, but a truce. Well, ceasefire in Israel, but there's still like a little over 100 hostages, and they say Israel. It says a third of them are dead, but there's 3 stages of this thing, and one of the stages is that about the most vulnerable of the hostages they have will be released, about 30 or so, whatever it is. There is some soldiers they still have. They don't want to give them up, but they are going to give up some Palestinians, militants held in Israeli prisons. So it's one of those deals. And Israel, I thought about this, and I'm not surprised that this has been a hang up, but I don't think Israel will back off. They want a peace corridor or a security corridor. You could call it either way, along the Egyptian Gaza border to stop the influx of you would have to go through an Israeli checkpoint. And I know that's going to be controversial, but look at all the tunnels they discovered. We knew that was going on anyway. the
Yeah.
weapons flow, the all the stuff they use for terror. Got to have some way to stop that. So Egypt's obviously not stopping all of it. So, or even any of it. I think they probably do some just here and there to when they get mad. Maybe the money hadn't changed hands or whatever, but they want a corridor there to have security control. So that is supposed to be hopefully by the end of the month in place, and hopefully they can start getting back to some order, and basically mainly the hostages released. I
Yeah.
would like to see that. So that was in the news as well. I was doing quite a bit of reading last night on that. But
Well, if they were up to anything good with all these tunnels and everything, they wouldn't be tunneling. They wouldn't be trying to sneak in there. I
oh yeah,
mean, they're up to no good. So why is this even an issue? Yeah, come through the border right, like you're supposed to do here. I would say like you do here, but like you're supposed to do here as well. Come through the border in a correct way, and that'll eliminate a lot of that junk. But they don't want to do that because it'll eliminate a lot of that junk.
some of those tunnels were big enough to drive a small car through. I mean, they were real. Some of them are more crude, but some of them were. There was a lot of resources and materials and labor put in to build them. I mean, counting all of the tunnels, I think I read somewhere, and I may be wrong on it, and I won't give an exact, but I think it was like over 600 miles. I mean, just because they're crisscrossing every which way, to connect up
Wow.
from top to bottom of the strip. So just amazing. Of course, they've been concreting some of those in, collapsing some of them, putting water in some of them, just making them impassable, closing up the openings, Of course, they'll go back to doing it if they get a chance, but
Yeah.
that's just a hard area. And then I read last night that well, it's been going on for about a week or two. Ukraine has actually went into Russian territory to kind of take some pressure off of their other troops, but Russia has made some inroads towards one of the towns, and some of the people were getting out. It was really sad. They were loading up. Some of the elderly and kids are getting out, getting on trains and getting out because the fighting was within 6 miles of their town. I'm sorry if I'm hearing uh, artillery fire and bombs and all this going on 6 miles from my home. I'm getting the family out too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like when the hurricane's coming, or even when Mount St. Helens or something. I mean, when it's time, go ahead and leave. I mean,
Yeah.
there is a time to get out. Unless you're a soldier and you're defending it, there's a time to get the people out. It's sad. You hate to leave your home, but man, you got to go. You got to go.
Yeah.
Man.
When
You
it's
got to
time
take
to, it's time to.
you got to take care of the family. You know.
Uh, I'm trying to look up. We're supposed to have some rain
I
around
had
here.
heard there was going to be some, but I haven't. I haven't looked at the total. I did look at a map, looking at kind of the weather systems across the south, but in some areas there will be some thunderstorms.
Yeah.
It's heat of the day. You're going to get some of that anyway.
We got some today on the forecast and tomorrow. And then it's supposed to be like partly cloudy. I'm looking at Panama City right now. It's supposed to be partly cloudy down there Saturday. And Sunday's supposed to be a shot at a little bit of rain. But you know what? If I'm out in the water, I really don't care if it rains or not. As long as it ain't lightning.
Lightning or a cyclone or something.
Yeah,
Water
we might
spout.
need to change our plans for something like that. But as long as it's just rain, we're okay. Bring it on. I'm going to be wet anyway.
You could do like some of those weather guys do. You could like have on shorts, go down into a ditch, and make it seem like the whole area is flooded. Get the shot right.
That'd be awesome.
I'm still here with the evidence of the hurricane that came through. There's still some massive flooding going on.
Yeah. Be
Some
standing
guy,
out there in the ocean.
some guy surfs by. See here, they're still surfing.
Yeah, they're still surfing over here in Panama City. You got to do a lot to surf in Panama City, I think. Sometimes the waves will get up, but normally it's not that big a wave.
Yeah, I never was a surfer, dude.
No, me neither.
I wasn't around oceans that much anyway. We didn't
Uh,
live near one. Had traveled to them, and just wasn't my gig.
well,
But I think it's interesting to watch them now if they take cameras into the tunnel, as they call it, or whatever. That's wild to watch that. Some of those massive ones that some of the
Oh yeah.
professionals do get in the pipe tunnel, whatever you want to call it, and water's just cascading over the top, and you're riding through that thing. That's amazing to me. I don't want to do it. It's kind of like I like to watch divers go down and look at things deep in the ocean, but I don't want to do it.
I do. I'm not. I can't anymore. I can snorkel and free dive. That's about it. But that'll be okay.
People don't realize the hazards, or some people don't. A lot of people do. They don't realize the hazards of underwater pipeline work and stuff. If you have to be really careful. I mean, it can take. Well, you get a slight crack, it could take a human in if the suction's right there, and it'll pull you in. You're just done. There's all kind of videos of fish and stuff being done like that. They're trying to weld up something, and just that change of you got pressure, and it'll just pull whatever right on through. There's been some people lost their lives doing that kind of work.
Oh, I'm sure, and I got no desire to do that kind of work. I would like to swim down there, sweet, see what's around it, though.
I read a book a guy gave me, where he loaned me. Very fascinating. It was a friend of his who had since he had died, but it was all of the early divers in probably the North Atlantic. Just really very hard. Some of those guys that, I mean, they were doing things that hadn't been done before. Kind of guys. The guys that they were writing the book as they were doing it about these very deep underwater dives in different kinds. Using the different equipment and going down and doing repairs and putting these things in place. Those guys, I mean, there was a lot of them that lost their lives. Just a very violent sea anyway, and just the dangers of deep diving. They learned a lot. There were people that lost their lives that gave them information of how they had to do that to protect those guys. And it's still very dangerous, but they made it as safe as you could make it for the future workers, because they developed some safety guidelines and stuff on how long you can be down and what kind of things you have to do to be able to get back up and not die quick. People, those early divers, some of them, they didn't understand all that, and they came up and, you just can't come. You get the bends. You can't come up like that. And then how long you have to remain if you're in a pressure capsule or whatever they call it. How long you have to be in that when you get up, and there's still effects on you. It's not that you're not affected; you are. And they wrote the book on what's the long-term effects on some of these guys. What's the effects on their organs and their body, their tissue of their body, because there is still some damage over time. Yeah. So it's fascinating.
Well, you get blood pressure with the bends. It forces, when you rapidly decompress. What people don't realize is it's possible to come up from 100 feet of water on one breath of air, because as the pressure decreases, the air expands in your lungs. And that's why you have to breathe out all the way up. But if you hold that pressure in, it just keeps building pressure, and it forces over in your blood. And that's when it starts causing problems and issues and everything else.
Yeah. And there are a lot of times when you're talking about local divers, and the biggest problem is people that are inexperienced and they don't plan their air right. Because what happens is they get down, and I'm not an expert, but just in talking to people that's done this, even done rescue dives, is they get down there and they go beyond what they were supposed to. They get so curious about the next 100 feet or whatever, and next thing you know, they're in trouble, and their air they might have had saved back to get them out is now they're losing it. And so they do have to come up fast, and then they're in trouble. Or they get lost, or they muddy the water, they panic, and they muddy the water, and they can't see their way back. A lot of them have lines and stuff that they put down to help divers, but some of those things have so many twists and turns, underwater caverns and stuff, you can easily get turned around.
I'm not. I got no interest in cave diving. No.
Yeah, I read he gave me a book on that too. He did rescue dives for in the state of Florida. He was from Florida, so he had been in many of those And there's some famous ones. There's one that's
Oh, yeah.
very, very deep. Uh, that they actually had to put cages down there. The state of Florida did to stop people from going down into some of these deeper parts. They basically said, "You will die.
Yeah.
You can't. We're not going to allow you to go past here. You will die." And
And
there's just people that would do that.
that's where so many people out there are just absolute idiots. Oh, I seen this happen on TV. Let's try this out this weekend, Bubba Joe. Let's see if we can get down in that cave and take our scuba tanks. And well, we don't got no scuba tank. Well, we're gonna have to go get some. I just
Or a dad who has some diving experience. He decides to take his kids, but he doesn't really have all the experience he needs for the
yeah,
different situations. And he gets his kids he loses one of them. It's easy. They take a turn you didn't know. It's like being in a grocery store. How easy it is for you to turn one way, somebody not paying attention turn the other way, and now you don't know where they're at. Same thing in an underwater cave. He knows how to get them in and out, but they're not experienced and they lose contact. And that's
yeah,
happened. And young, I mean, there's a lot of sad pictures of dads on top of the water in deep sorrow and grief because their child um, died, and then that's where this guy came in. He did underwater rescues. I mean, very very seldom did they go down and bring somebody up alive. It was usually by the time they were involved, it was
you're
a
bringing up a
rescue
body.
because you can't. It ain't like the movies. You just don't throw the stuff on and jump in. You got to protect yourself. You have to have all your gear right, or you're going to be in another fatality.
Yeah,
So it's not like the movies that you just don't jump into something like that and go willy nilly, as they say. And you got to have all your checks that you do and your team because you go down as a team too. And it's like you were talking about to me the other day. I don't know if we talked about it on the air, but we were talking about it, which I thought was interesting. You were talking about how some fire departments don't let the firemen go into a structure. They fight it from the outside unless they're trying to rescue somebody.
yeah,
They don't do that anymore. Some of them don't do that. I
yeah.
thought that was interesting.
Well, there's no point in risking more life. I mean, property can be replaced, you know, but lives can't. If you lose a life in there or somebody loses their life fighting a fire, they're gone. You can't bring
Yeah.
them back. And you want to keep, especially these volunteer fire departments, stuff like that, they want to keep them safe. You know, these
Amen.
people are volunteering to go out and fight the fires. Now they have to go through training, all that. They have to learn how to do it, which is great, and they should. But don't risk nobody's life unless you have to. Now, if there's somebody in there that's alive and you can get to them by all means. I mean, they're going to. But if they don't have to go into the home to fight the fire, they're not going to, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Now, Dave, I've got something really special for you this morning.
Uh-oh.
I want to show you just how old you actually are. You ready for this?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm worried. I'm worried.
You should
Never
be.
know with Robert.
You remember this.
Oh man.
You probably had that same turtleneck sweater. I'd
I will
say.
have you know I never had a turtleneck sweater in my life. Never. You remember those things I told you that I never have and never will do?
Yeah.
That's one of them. I'm not the turtleneck sweater guy. Remember I told you no Velcro shoes? No, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, man. I'll do slip-ons. I'm not doing Velcro.
I've got a picture around here somewhere. And my mom and I, my mom was a server. I would say my mom and I, but I was a little bit young for that. But we were a server at a lady's anniversary. And she had got me up there, and I'm dressed up in this little suit and everything. And you can tell by the look on my face, I was madder than heck. My mom was very happy that she got me into that monkey suit.
Oh yeah. One thing I did have to wear when I was growing up, and I got rid of it as soon as I could. I think before its time. I think I hid it from my mom. Was a wool shirt. Oh
Oh,
my! gosh. And she made me wear that thing to church sometimes, and I would itch and be hot. I hated that shirt. Hated that shirt.
I had a wool shirt too, and my mama did ask me where it went to, and I was a youngin', and I told her I didn't know. It's probably still in the ground. There may be some remnants left of it. Homie didn't play that but about 3 times. Where's that nice shirt you've got? Which one? You know, that one that's so thick and feels soft and eats you the whole time you're in church, and then we can whoop on you for wiggling around and not being still. No.
I remember when I got rid of it was one time we went to the lake and I got sunburned, and she made me wear it with a sunburn just to church. I ripped that thing off as we were headed home, no shirt on, but I swore that day I'd get rid of that shirt. I was a boy on a mission. I wasn't a man yet, but I was a boy on a mission. Get rid of the shirt. Hey, let's run a couple of commercials, Rob. I'm gonna refill my coffee cup, and
right.
I'm sure you're about ready too. And
where is that new one that you made?
It
That was not long enough.
Well, go ahead. You can go ahead and run that one, and I'll hit ARA, and by that time you'll be back. And if I'm not back, it's fine.
We'll be right back, everybody.
Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, we ask you to join us each Monday night for one of our very special programs, Mama Said. About 7 p.m. each Monday, we'll be talking about those things that Mama has said or does say, or that we just remember that she said for those of us who have lost our moms. Sometimes we laugh. Sometimes we think of the things that we did that made our moms mad. Sometimes we think of those things we wish we could hear Mama say again. Even when she was telling us to go get the hickory. Hey, we loved our moms, and we appreciate all the things that Mama said. This is one of the things that the Southern Fried Podcast is built its foundation on, was programs like this, Mama Said. So join us. Send us those notes of what your mama said. Maybe she said some things that are a little different than what our mom said. We'd like to include that in the program. We're thankful for our moms. God was good to us to give us the wonderful gift of moms in our life. So join us each Monday night for the Southern Fried Podcast. Very special program, Mama Said. Thank you so much for watching. Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, one of the blessed things we've been able to do is partner with the wonderful people at Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. These folks are a no-kill shelter in Donaldsonville, Georgia. You see the contact info on the screen. And these folks would love to have you come adopt a dog or a cat. They have folks that come from all over the United States, not just the state of Georgia. They're great folks. It's been a wonderful partnership between Southern Fried Podcast and ARA. And we've been blessed to meet some of the folks that have adopted animals from ARA. Also, we've been able to encourage people to donate and volunteer. They encourage volunteers that are in the area, and they're just wonderful people. We'd love for you to contact them, meet them too, go on their website, see some of the animals, and we know you'll want to partner with them too by taking a dog or a cat to their forever home. Join with us, the Southern Fried Podcast, in support of this great work of the Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. We know you'll be happy you did. I know we are. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. As part of our Main Street program, we're highlighting businesses in small-town America. This week, we're interviewing Angie from Angie's Decatur Diner. Tune in to hear her interview. And we're back.
Hey, I timed that just about right.
You did. And that interview will air tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to join that. Hey, we're celebrating, Rob, community, small businesses, those type of things that we grew up with. We was talking about the small store, and I really enjoyed my time with her. It just brought back a lot of memories. I mean, the breakfast all day thing, I like that. That's cool that you come in, get that gravy and biscuit where you crumple up your biscuit,
No,
right?
you don't crumble up your biscuits. Mm.
I
And
like
she
that.
did. And I'm gonna go ahead and
She was a
I'll
little
get
political. She's a good business person, right? She played that right down the middle.
but she said that her and a lot of the other women folk like to crumble their biscuits up.
They did say that. So she had it right down the middle on that. She got both sides. That's a good political answer there. I think she knew she was probably getting brought into something. But yeah, I like it, and we've been working on it for a while. Hey, it's a small business. It's hard to get time. She works 2 jobs,
Yeah.
and she said I work 17 hours a day. Family, all families involved, mom, daughters, whoever else they can drag in,
That's
help run
right.
this place. And it's if you're ever in Decatur, Tennessee, stop at Angie's Decatur Diner. So
That's
these are
right.
not paid spots, folks. These are just things we're trying to help community. If you'd like your business or community event covered, wherever, we don't care, from upstate Virginia to down to the Key West, I don't care. Send us the information, and we'll be glad to put something out there about it. Our reach is getting bigger, Robert, and we're into a lot of
Yeah.
different areas. So you never know who you might touch, and we want to be a help to you anyway. And we'll make a little spot for it, and you can use it in your ads. So say you
Yeah.
saw it on the Southern Fried Podcast. We like
Yeah.
that
And
kind of thing.
like if you're like in a small town or whatever, and y'all are having some type of little festival, let us know. We might just show up.
We might judge. I'm glad you said it. I was fixing to say that. And
Mhm.
and ARA, great folks. Make sure you help get some. They've had some cats get adopted, Rob. I'm happy
Yeah,
to see
we've
that.
adopted several cats, and uh, there has been a lot of support in the community with people bringing in donations and stuff. Which is, I mean, people don't think about it, but we do have a responsibility to the animals, and let's get them cleaned up. And they're good, perfectly good animals, dogs, cats, whatever. They're strays or whatever, and they take them in and they give them a home. They clean them up. They work with them. They get them to the vet, spayed or neutered, and
But by the way, we have to do this every once in a while, Rob. Pop up our first beloved animal, which I think is still at the rescue,
the last I heard, she's still there.
and get this wonderful dog a forever home. That's Fern.
Yeah,
You went and
she
played with
is.
Fern. Fern's awesome.
Yes, Fern is an awesome puppy dog, and she's still there, and she's still needing her forever home. And they're
2 years,
yeah,
unbelievable. Get this
over
dog a
2 years.
forever home. Over two
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Now
Wow.
these people at Animal Rescue Alliance, they're really good with the puppy dogs. They give me pictures of tongue in, like that, and tongue out. It's very important to get these tongue in, tongue out pictures in there, and I've noticed that they've been really good with that. And
I,
those,
I'm
huh?
I'm waiting for one to be Gene Simmons. I'm telling you, some of them dogs got the longest tongues I've ever seen.
Well, what they sent me yesterday for this morning's, they've got it tongue in, tongue kind of out, and tongue way out.
How long is that video, Rob, for today's?
It's under 5 minutes, or right
Hey,
at a little over
well,
5 minutes.
let's do something different. Or how about the funny we did? What's today's funny? How long is it? Can you pull it up while we're on here? Let's give them a little treat. Let's show them the funny right in the middle of the program. We've never done this. I'm throwing him a curveball. But hey, we we want you to get a laugh today. I don't even remember what today's is. It's Hump Days. I did look at it last night. I'm trying to think of what it was because I was loading it for other streams. But all these things run together sometimes. But yeah, we'll give you a little laugh this morning, hopefully, or you can laugh at us. I would get a lot of comments on these things on some of the streams. I'm telling you. But by the way, some guy commented on one of the streams, Rob, about the drive-through. Said, "Just eat at home. You don't have to deal with it." I'm like, "Come on, man. We're just all in good fun, man. Thanks for watching." You know? Oh, I realize there's ways we could solve that, but that would take the fun out of it. That takes the fun out of telling the story.
Well, you could just not be so cantankerous and
I
grumpy.
know. Well, yeah, maybe that's. I probably drove them crazy, but you like it when I go off a little bit.
Oh, I do. I do. I do.
Red face, really getting into it, a little
Oh,
passion in
yeah, that's
there.
great. That's that's the highlight of my day. Seeing you all red faced. All
Hey,
right, here we
it don't
go.
take much. Yeah, let's see this thing.
Let's see if I can do this. I can do it. I'm pretty sure. Throwing me curveballs
Throw
in the
them-
morning. You know it's early.
I know I told you a curveball. I should have told you before, but let's throw it up there. We have no sound. It's really funny.
What?
I said I don't hear anything.
You are.
Not on my end, brother.
Thank you.
Are you hearing sound? I'm not hearing sound.
You're not hearing sound. I'm hearing sound. I'm watching.
Well, hopefully our listeners are. I'm not hearing anything. So for some reason, I'm not hearing the sound. So we'll have to work on that.
Well,
At least on my end. Pop in the comments. Tell us if you heard that. If you just saw it, I can see it. I can't hear it. Maybe just have to bring it up as a video.
well,
Yeah.
I've got the sound on.
I know. For some reason, it's not. I'm not hearing it. So that's okay. We'll work on that. If others heard it, that's all that matters. But I'm not hearing it. So
Well, I'm hearing it. Of course, it's playing right here.
yeah, I think that's why. For some reason, it's not playing.
Okay.
I can hear you. I couldn't hear the video.
Well,
Anyway.
you heard the important stuff then. That's all that matters.
See, they got to laugh at us anyways. They played a video with no sound.
We'll work on that. It's awfully early to be throwing me curveballs. Hey, let's do something we ain't never done before. Hey, Robert, I know it's early and your brain ain't going good, but let's figure this thing out. Okay.
Well, we'll give you we'll give you one that will play.
Hi, this is Roy Cook. A friend of mine, Dave Cordell, asked me to do a song for Robert Blevins. He's in the Southern Fried Podcast, Cornbread Nation, and it's the Barney song. So I'm going to do the Barney song. I love you, you love me. We're a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say I love you too? Well, there you go, Dave. The Barney song. For you and Robert. It is for Robert. Robert Blevins on the Southern Fried Podcast. Cornbread Nation. There you go, Robert. Have a great day, bro.
So you give me a video that won't play, I'll give you one that will play.
Okay.
Or it played, but I couldn't hear it. I think everybody heard that.
That's not very nice at all. That's okay though.
He's supposed to be making another one up. By the way, I saw him. He did do another one. He was on there with my niece, and they were doing. They had a duo going on. They were just singing along to some song, and I told you he does this all the time. But you know what? I appreciate Cook. I just want to say, he's been a member of Crew since day one, and he's coming up in a lot more streams. It's been great, and he told me, he called me and just said he loves us and he feels better. Robert, it's good. It's good to feel good. Yeah. He's had some problems, and he told me that he was feeling better, and he was happy and loved the podcast and loved what we're doing and happy to be a part of it. It's just good to hear him like that.
And Chris is taking a turn for going the other direction. He's got a lot of health issues going on right
now. I know.
now.
I'm concerned about him. Y'all pray for Chris. He's just having a tough time right now.
And Chris does a lot of stuff behind the scenes, helps keep us going. And, he's struggling right now, and that's hard.
It is.
I've been there, and it's not easy.
He's the genius of the crew. He makes us look good, which is hard to do. And not looks, but just the presentations, the way that he puts things together. we wouldn't be where we are without him. I'm sure of that we'd be here, but we wouldn't be here with all some of the things we have. He's worked.
He's our Marvin the Martian, but a tall version.
Yeah, he has worked YouTube very, very hard. He's put no doubt hundreds of hours into the YouTube site.
Oh yeah,
and just the stuff that he sent me that I've been able to use on other streams, thumbnails, different things. He sent me videos, the song that he put together. So thank you, Chris, for praying for you, buddy.
I have this mental image of Renfield. You know, he's out there. He's in the back room, just going away on the computer, going, "Oh, they're gonna love this." That's just the mental image I get.
Well, and it's kind of like that because he'll be, you won't hear from him for a while, and then all of a sudden he'll just explode in all sorts of posts and voicemails and stuff he sends you, and he'll say, "I'm fixing to send you some stuff." And it's like he's backed up the truck and just put the bed up and rolled it out. It's like a load of gravel. And you're like, wow. You know, it's just amazing. And then he'll disappear again for a while. He's back in. He'll say, "Thanks for the kind words. Means so much. Do you need anything else right now? Okay, I'll see you." And he goes back into the laboratory. It's truly amazing.
We keep him locked in a dark room.
I talked to this.
Running away.
I talked to this guy one time. He was a great guy. Maybe if you hear this, you're like this. Great guy. Great to converse with, but he's one of those socially awkward kind of guys. He doesn't like to be around people. He likes people, but he just doesn't like to talk. He's not mad or anything. He's that guy. And he told us, they made him go to this class. It was torture on him, but they made him go, "You have to do so many things like that." He was great in the class. But he said, "I'm that guy." He was a computer programmer or something. He said, "I am that guy that sits in a room with a computer in a dark room by himself all day long. And I love it. I don't want to see anybody." He said, I'm just that guy. And he said, "That's just the way I'm made. And I cannot handle being in social." He said, "I could never handle being in a room full of cubicles and hundreds of people." He said, "I couldn't handle that. I can't work." He said, "I don't want no noise. I keep it really quiet. The lights are down, and I just work away."
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw this thing the other day, Rob, and it said it was a picture of a cat. You've got cats. You'll appreciate this. And the cat might even had a cup of coffee in its paws. It was kind of funny. It said, "I have reached my people quota for the day."
Oh my gosh, and that is so
or
true.
human quota. I think for the guy, human quota for the day. Can we not all say that some days? Yeah. "I've reached my quota. I really don't care to see anybody else."
You see, for me, it's it generally happens when I reach my actual people quota. It happens around 8:00 in the morning usually. That's why I'm so ornery all day and why I pick on people, because, I have to make them fun for me, It's one thing, when people amuse you, and people, let's face it, okay? We as human beings, we try to be nice to everyone, okay? Usually we're that person, especially me and you. We meet a stranger, we try to be nice to them. Okay. But I'm that person that once I hit my people quota for the day at about 8:00 in the morning, now I think, and somewhere in the back of my head, they're there to amuse me. And so, I will say something to be amused. It's like, example, yesterday, it was a mother and a daughter walking up a hallway. And the mother was being kind of loud, and she was talking, but she wasn't saying nothing off key. She wasn't mad or anything. She was just loud. And the daughter's like, "I wish you wouldn't be so loud." And as they were walking past me, I was like, "You be as loud as you want to. You ain't bothering nobody." "Yeah, that's right." The daughter's looking back at me, "Shut up." But they're both smiling and carrying on, I think that's a good way to be.
I went to this. I was helping a preacher friend of mine. We've done a lot of ministry together, and he was at this. It was a smaller assisted living home. I mean, it really was a home. It was state certified, but it was actually a big home. They modified some of it upstairs and downstairs. And of course, they had the staff there. They had a business office. Everything was in this big home. And we come in to do a church service. And he was going to preach, and he asked me if I would lead some songs. And so I led, I don't know, 3 or 4 songs, 5 songs, whatever it was, before he preached. And then we were going to have a little social gathering. They bring cookies and stuff like punch and stuff like that out. Well, while we were singing the song, it was right after we finished the singing, and it might have been before he preached. He might have been after, I don't remember. But this lady come up from downstairs, and she just jumped all over me with both feet. She said, "You're making so much noise, I can't watch the Braves game." And I looked at
you had it coming that you was doing that. Y'all was doing that during the Braves game.
Well, she was downstairs though. She was downstairs, and so I looked at my buddy, and he's laughing, and I'm thinking, this is not funny. I mean, he's kind of covering his face up, but he's laughing, and I'm just like mortified. I don't even know what I did. I said, "Well, we're just singing some songs." She goes, "Yeah, I know you're singing some songs. You're making all this racket, beating on the floor, and all that stuff, and I can't watch the Braves game. I can't hear Skip Carey, And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry, ma'am," And I walked off, and my buddy, he's got his head down. I thought he was like upset. He's laughing. I said, "What? Like, is this some kind of inside joke?" I was thinking we got some local lady. Maybe she's just attacks everybody. He goes, "I'm sorry, dude." He goes, he always wore cowboy boots. And while we were singing, he was tapping the floor with his cowboy boot. And it was him that was making the noise. But I took the attack. She thought it was me because I was leading the singing. He still gives me a hard time about that. And he didn't own that for nothing, dude. He stayed quiet the whole time and just let her go off on me.
I would have too. I'd have sat back and laughed at you the whole time she was chewing on you. I'd have sat back and just laughed, because that's amazing. Because y'all probably were making too much racket for her to enjoy the Braves game. Y'all probably should have.
Well, sad was, she turned around and stormed off. I was wishing she'd been quiet for just a second. I wanted to ask her what the score was.
Yeah.
I went to ask her. I said, "Well, what was the score?" And by the time I got the score, she was gone.
She'd have said, "I don't know. Y'all are being too loud for me to hear it." She might have forgot to put her hearing aids in, Dave.
She heard that foot stomp.
That's all she could hear was that foot stomp.
I was at this buddy's apartment one night, and he had a few, and I'm glad he wasn't going anywhere. But we were sitting there, and this guy came up and beat on the door, and he answered the door, and the guy said, "Y'all are being too loud. I've had enough of it. Just da da da." I think he was playing music, and he just went off. "I'm sorry, sir," and he went, and he sat back down. He's just sitting there thinking, and we turned the music down some. We're sitting there, and I was going to be leaving in the next 35, 40 minutes anyway. Well, he gets up and he grabs this portable heater. And now that's an odd thing. I mean, I used to get somebody gets up, get a book bag, or they get their jacket, or they get even a briefcase or something like that, or a lunch bag. He's got a portable heater that you plug in. I said, "Hey man, where are you going with the heater?" "Oh, I'm just going to go down here and see my neighbor." I said, "The guy just came up here?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Is that his heater?" He goes, "No, but it's fixing to go through his window." I'm like, "Oh, stop. Stop. Don't do it, man. Let it go. Just let it go." He goes, "I'm not living anywhere where a guy talks to me like that. He's fixing to get the heater through the window." I stopped him. I told him to stop. And then I got out of there. I'm like, "You go to bed. I'm going home." I was like, "You can't do that."
No heaters through the window.
This will escalate in a way you do not want if you do that. And I'm going to the car. I'm getting out of here.
See you in the morning.
Wow.
See, therein lies the elemental difference between me and you. For you, that was a sign that you needed to leave. And not only was that a sign that you needed to leave, but you paid attention to it and you left. You removed yourself from the situation. Now me, I would have tried to talk him out of it. But if I couldn't, I would at least have been out there watching so I could see what was going on.
That makes you an accessory there, Rob.
No, no, not if I'm trying to talk him out of it. And I mean, sincerely trying to talk. No, no, look, dude, we don't need to do that. You know better.
Oh.
Put the heater down and go, oh, no, I'm going to do it. Oh, well, I'm going to watch.
By the way, and this wasn't some little bitty heater. This is one of those old 220 top heavy metal heaters. I'm not.
Fans that go up and down.
Yeah, I'm not talking about some little old tabletop heater. No, this is a heavy duty heater, dude. I mean, the kind that when you pick it up, you know it's made quality. The old style that they had in the walls. This was just a portable. This thing probably weighed 40 pounds, 30, 40 pounds easy. I mean, maybe 50. I mean, they were heavy. It was old top, been around for 25 years, maybe 30. And I was like, no, man, you're not going to do that.
If that thing went through a bedroom window and hit somebody in a bed, it'd have killed them.
Exactly, man. I was thinking, no, we're not having that, you know.
You talk about escalation. I went over. My neighbor came up to my house, told me my music was too loud. I went to chuck the heaters through the window. That'd teach him. Of course, he was laying there in bed, and that heater killed him. But you know, I didn't mean to.
That tells you how things was 25 years ago. Nowadays, it's escalated to weapons.
Oh yeah.
No heater.
No heater.
Not that there wasn't some of that back then, but nowadays it's all weapon. Yeah. All the dummies that don't need one because they don't understand how to use one and take care of one and be responsible. They make the rest of the responsible folks that have that top. I don't want to say the word even because it gets funny on the streams, but you know what I mean. The top of responsible owner that they're supposed to be to have that. Some people they make us all look bad. You know.
And speaking of responsible gun owners. Are you seeing some of this stuff that I need to get into it and research it some, but it appears that Georgia's trying to pass some new gun laws this January, and they're trying to do it on the down low.
I did send you something on that, and the Georgia group was trying to point that out because they're in a conference while they're not in session, and trying to get it where you have to store. It's a law. It'll be a law. You have to store that away, lock it away in your own home. Under the guise that would protect children, there's a way. If you do things right, that won't happen anyway. But this would mean you have to have your defense locked away while an intruder might be coming in. What's the likelihood you're getting it unlocked and available? There's other ways to do that.
Yeah, there is.
Anyway,
you know,
I'd be interested in hearing from Chris on this, but. Maybe we can pick this back up, but that was a big send out yesterday to contact Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones and some of the committee members to say, and by the way, I think the Republicans that he was saying to contact, I don't even think they showed up. I think it was all Democrats. I think now go to their Facebook page, Georgia, was it Georgia Gun Owners? I think I sent you, and he's there. He was doing commercial spots or little portions live from the Capitol, and was making the appeal, giving the numbers out. So hopefully they'll. I told you Georgia is. There's a lot of things on the table in Georgia.
Yeah, I know we're cutting it close, and I want to come back and talk on this part of it. I hate this little sneaky around stuff.
I know.
They ain't got no business sneaking stuff in.
That's what makes people not trust government. Announce these things,
yeah,
and have them in a public forum. They go in a little room.
They don't want to do that because they may not get their way, and it's all about them getting their way. Whatever they've got to do to push it through, never mind the will of the people. That don't matter. That's not important. Let's sneak it in there, and let's not have any discussion on it or nothing. Let's just get it done. That's hogwash. That's where communism comes from. Y'all just do what we tell you to do. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about what you want. You just do what we tell you.
And right here at election time, a lot of people's minds and focuses on the election and the Democratic National Convention and all that. It's kind of a funny time, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so people could disagree with us. That's fine. But that's what we heard. That's what we saw.
Yeah.
And
we're not making this stuff up.
I don't like it. No, we're not making it up. I'd like to get some more information about it. I really would.
Yeah. And
We'll bring it back up.
yeah, we'll come back in on tonight's Hump Day news. We'll do some research tonight, and we'll just talk about her tonight. Huh.
Along with our weird news. Last week we talked about cats, gators, bears, hippos, and cats again, I think.
And the cat was at fault.
The cat was at fault. We the mastermind behind all the chaos that happened with all the animals last week. Bears, the bears getting stuck in the car with the music blaring. The gator, which you didn't believe it was in Lake Erie.
The alligator.
The cats and the dog. The dog's chewing on the lithium battery and starting a fire, and they all escaped. The cat let them out. The cat on top of the 30-foot power pole for over 24 hours. By the way, I saw another article. I didn't send it to you, Rob, right before we go. I think it was Athens, Tennessee, where somebody went online and said, asked this question. My cat has climbed up in a tree. It's been like 12 hours, and everybody said about the same thing we said. It'll come down when it's ready. Put some food at the bottom of the tree. The cat will come down when it's ready to eat. So don't overreact. If the cat's up there in 3 days, call somebody. The cat will come down. The cat will come down.
Yeah, it'll come down. It climbed up there. It'll climb down.
That's right.
Hey, everybody out there, y'all have a great and wonderful Hump Day. Get through this day. You're over halfway to the weekend, and y'all get through it. Y'all can do it. We believe in you. Get through it. Dave, you get through it too.
I will. I'm going to work. Everybody watched the Morning Funny. I don't know what happened there. Rob heard it. I don't know if we did. I didn't. But go watch that. We'll figure that out. The morning devotion. We're in Philippians now.
Because ARA Pet of the Week just popped up.
Yeah, ARA Pet of the Week. I'm going to go watch that myself. Make sure it's out on some other streams. And join us tonight. That's 7 p.m., right, Rob? 7 p.m. tonight. Hump Day News.
Yes.
Southern Fried Podcast. Have a great day. Salute to Two Egg, Florida, by the way, again, as we go out. The 288 people we know of that live in Two Egg, Florida.
Two Egg, Florida.
All right, get our outro going there, Rob.
Oh my goodness!
You don't want to get in trouble with your wife.
Yeah, we don't want that. I got to find the video. Oh my goodness, I am totally not ready.
He got in trouble the other night. The music.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show.